Hello and welcome to Mind Behind the Mouth, a place where we will be taking you on a journey through topics that we get easily interested in and overly passionate about. Alright, Mind, old buddy. What's today's totally tubular topic?
Today we'll be talking about a Vietnam vet who comes home, gets shat on,
Oh yeah.
and gets his revenge. Today we're going to be talking about a little game called Mafia 3.
Oh. And why it's my favorite of the series.
Wait, what?
You need to leave.
It's a dangerous course you're contemplating. And Sal Marcano deserves to die. I won't argue otherwise. But let that be the end of it.
That's not enough.
It's enough if you say it's enough. I know what Sal did to you, Lincoln.
Shouldn't have said no.
But nothing you do will bring any of them back.
This isn't about bringing them back, or even exacting some street justice. It's about making that bastard feel what it's like to lose everything. Watch as I take it all away from him. My name is Lincoln Clay, motherfucker.
This video will contain spoilers for Mafia 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so I guess starting this out, I should go ahead and state up front, yes, Mafia 3 is technically my favorite of the Mafia games. But it didn't always used to be. For a good long while, Mafia 2 was my favorite of the trilogy, and I still look back on it quite fondly. I loved playing as Vito, making his way up, and it still today holds a place in my heart that is very, very dear. But it's just, when I look back on the Mafia games, something about 3 just kind of, it never left me. I think it's one of those games that was just perfectly done. Now, okay, that's wrong. It's just one of those games that I think was just misutilized, but the right perfect concept. So yes, while Mafia 2 was my favorite for a very, very long time, Mafia 3 ended up taking me by surprise. And it is the one that I find myself thinking back to and on the most. And it's not just the balls to the wall gameplay. It's actually that story that constantly kicks back to my brain. Now, I think one of the key notes to go ahead and bring forward that I love so much about this is the righteous theory of Lincoln Clay.
Righteous theory?
Yeah, I mean, he's a badass.
He is a badass.
Got named right, he's a badass. Alright, so Lincoln Clay returns home from Vietnam to 2 types of hate. Not only the hate of a Vietnam soldier, baby killer, disgrace, hated by the citizens that he was, usually people didn't volunteer for the Vietnam War and they were drafted and they were still hated when they came back. Lincoln did volunteer, but he was hated when he came back for it. But for number 2, also being black in 1968 New Bordeaux, the American South, full of racists and small-minded thinkers.
Well, not all of them.
All right, that's fair. Not all of them. But the ones that are, fuck them. So, he faces a double prejudice. Racism and anti-war sentiment. And then he gets betrayed. Right on top of that beautiful cherry cake. I've never seen a cherry cake. I hate cherry. I don't know why I said cherry cake. But his family and crew get murdered by the people that were in charge. They felt like they owned them. He's on a revenge arc that doesn't feel bitter in this game. It feels justified. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but this is one of the instances I totally believe that the revenge was 100% delicious. I don't know. But as hot, cold, goddamn, this fucking revenge dish was amazing. And you just don't feel regret here. Where he's, okay, so you're kind of like Rambo.
Badass black Rambo.
Yeah, badass big black Rambo. Coming back, where Rambo, though, 100%, you can't really justify what he did to that town. Soon as he starts killing cops, instead of just like, you know, fighting his way out of there and like just hiding in the woods, then you're like, oh, yeah, that's wrong. He can't, that's not right. They're not right, but he's not right. Where here, it's actually kind of closer to like a Rambo Punisher, where you get to basically crush through not just like people that are cops or citizens or some bullshit like that. You are wiping out organized crime, criminals, like lowlifes. Okay, the lowlifes is a little far, but disgusting people. The racist ones are lowlifes. I don't feel any qualms about killing them, and I do it twice, 3 times a lady.
What the hell are you talking
I don't
about?
know, man. Like, you don't feel bad, at least I don't, about going through and killing systematically all of the mafia, because they're pretty bad criminals. Like, they do some pretty shady shit. Right, yeah, this is one of those rare instances where revenge doesn't feel cautionary. It feels right. Now, I think there's 2 big main criticisms when it comes to Mafia 3. We'll jump to the second one later in this, as it's slightly justified with the performance. But the first one I will argue with until the sun goes down. I don't know. I couldn't think of a good saying right there off the top of my head. Until the argument's over. That was so stupid. And number 1 is that it doesn't feel like a Mafia game. And sure, it doesn't feel like the traditional style Mafialized story. Mafialized? What am I saying? And yeah, when you think Mafia, most people think the traditional stories. They picture the old school Italian mobsters in their pinstripe suits, smoky jazz clubs, and pre-Prohibition era of the crime families. And I think Mafia 1 and 2 nailed that perfectly. And so yes, it is a bit of a departure when we head to 1968 in the South. But I argue it's still a Mafia story, just not one we're really used to. And so I get it, Mafia 3 doesn't really fit that stereotype of the classic gangsters. It's set in the South during the late 60s, and you're not even playing a full-blooded Italian. It's a pretty big departure from the games that has been established as Mafia games thus far. But let's just go ahead and dig into that, because if you look past the pure aesthetic of it, Mafia 3 doesn't only just carry on the spirit of the past 2 games, it fully embraces it and continues on the legacy that these stories go out to tell. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and hit some spoilers here of the first and second game, then we'll even start touching base on the third. There's spoilers in this video, for those in the back. So in the original game, you play as Tommy Angelo, a cab driver who gets pulled into the mob and slowly works his way up in it. He wasn't born into it. He started as an outsider too, and by the end of the game, he turns on the mafia that took him in, and he testifies and ultimately pays for it with his life. Tommy's story is about how the mafia consumes and uses people and then tosses them aside when they're done with them. Now, Vito, my boy, Vito's a little different. He's a little deeper in, but he still didn't start in it, and he's still got to slowly work his way up the ladder. But as he starts to get towards the top, he realized that the mafia will use him just as much as it will anybody else, and then discard them. And let's not forget, he ends up killing the Don at the end of his game and becomes a threat to the organization he once idolized. So, by the time we get to Mafia 3, Lincoln's story isn't some wild departure from the main plots of the games, but it's a natural conclusion of the stories that we've been playing through this entire time. A man on the fringe of the mob who gets pulled in, used, betrayed, and then fights back. And with Lincoln, he doesn't just turn on the mafia like the other two. He burns it down. So yes, the clothes, the decade, the setting, it's all changed. But the heart of the story, that remains the same. It's still about crime, loyalty, betrayal, and power. That is still a mafia story, just from a voice we haven't heard yet. This game has a large cast of fun and diverse characters, from Sammy and Ellis being that warm, friendly family that Lincoln has, to even his other buddies. Tommy, I think he has a really fun and energetic, back and forth with Tommy as well. And then you also have Georgie Marcano in there. And you really see like the kind of like youth friendship that these guys have all kind of come up, the camaraderie between them. And I think it's even that just like little bit of like, they were obviously friends that just makes the Georgie betrayal just so much more poignant and stinging. Like it just, you can see that like he truly felt betrayed, as he truly felt that they were actually friends. Sal Marcano Sal Marcano is that perfect villain that you just love to hate. He's controlling, manipulative, racist. That's always a good cherry on top for people you want to hate. But he pokes the wrong bear. He's used to fucking over and using everyone in his, vicinity and means of disposal. But what he doesn't know is he fucked over the wrong person. And that person also knows somebody. Now, what I love about this game is Lincoln Clay isn't just some ex-military man in the army. No. He was special forces. And on top of that, he had good friends, or he was good friends with John Donovan. Now, this smart-ass psychopathic son of a bitch is the wrong end of the guy you want to be on. Because guess what? He's a psychopathic son of a bitch. I truly believe he is a psychopath, and he is one of the most... He's fun. Like, he's one of those... He's completely unhinged, but you're still on his side because he's on your side. But the... Basically, the way that they're able to systematically just put together an operative of taking down the mafia as if it was like a psyop, behind enemy lines, I think this is beautifully done. And I think it's perfectly in a wheelhouse of a character's knowledge, expertise. Like, it all lines up and it is told really, really well. I know it's like a little bit different, knocks the normal mafia story, but god damn does this thing do it right. Then you got a couple of underbosses coming in. You got Cassandra, who's bold, brilliant, and badass. And yeah, I will say right off the bat, I think the worst choice was being able to like kill these underbosses and undermine them and stuff. I think it should have just been straight laced. Like, he works with them and builds them up, so that way it was like a consistent story, and like it was actually the story. But she is fucking awesome, shouldn't be betrayed, needs to be brought to the end, and she fights for her position and her people, and I think she's a utter badass. You got okay, Burke, I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't like Burke that much. I think he's a bit of a dick, scumbag, selfish, just drunkard, gets his son needlessly involved. I guess a lot of people do, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Burke. I don't hate him, but I don't like him. But he's there. I guess he does feel more real in his flaws, and the fact that he's, his bitterness truly does come across and actually feels genuine. So there is that. I think he is a really well-written character. I'm just not a fan. But then, of course, you have Vita Scaletta, the legend, the love, the awesome. Well, what?
Too much.
All right, it is too much, but god damn, I love me some Vito Scaletta, and I'm so glad he's back. And if I can't play Vito Scaletta again in another Mafia game, give me the opportunity to give him the perfect ending that he deserves. That was way too much, way too silly, but I wholeheartedly believe it. Vito Scaletta is so amazing, and being able to see him off into the kind of like perfect end of his life is so great. Like, he doesn't die. He's in all three. He's the connecting factor. Him and Joe are the connecting factors in this trilogy, and he ties them all together technically as he appears in all of them. And it is so nice that he doesn't end with that kind of classic sad mobster ending, at least that we see, that he possibly, got to live a comfortable life at the end. So that's pretty great. I'm glad we got to set that up for him. Now, with all that out of the way, we circle back to Circle 2. That's not it. We circle back to Issue 2 of people having a problem with this game. I think I've done a good job at conveying the fact that this is still a Mafia game, and it is actually very much in line with how the others, work, just a little bit more rambunctious, kick-ass, and in your face. But then it comes to the repetitiveness, the bloated gameplay, and the waste of time open world. Now, I can concede to some of these things. It is repetitive, bloated, not a waste of time. And yes, it is repetitive. But if there's one thing I don't mind doing on repeat in video games, is killing Nazis and extreme racists, like these fuckers in the KKK. Because you know what? It's just so good. And everyone that just lets slip that ugly N-word gets a good scatter blast to the stomach, and it is so fine, dude. It's a bit fun. Like to just, I think it's pretty great running through all this. The shooting is actually phenomenal. I think that the combat is the tightest it's been in any of the series. It's really well done. You feel his tacticalness, like the way he moves into cover, the way he shoots his guns. Everything feels like a military man. And the way he just dismantles everything is just so well done in this game that I think it is repetitive, very much so. But I think the content that we're repeating is actually not too goddamn bad. Actually, this game is the game. I finished this game a while ago, and I shouldn't put this on because it's as hot as New Bordeaux. But after I finished this game, I saw something in the store while I was out shopping with my lady. Well, she was shopping at clothes, and I was around, and I did see something that I kind of wanted immediately as soon as I saw it. I'll show you. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. And I've worn this as my main jacket for the last, what? Holy shit. 8 years? That's wild. It is really hot, but you know what? I'm gonna commit. We're gonna finish this for you guys because I don't know why, but this is hot as hell. Now with the repetitiveness, I do think it gets patched up a little bit by adding these DLCs, which some people find a little bit pointless, but I do think that they kind of help tie in Lincoln a little bit more to the characters, the city of New Bordeaux a little bit. Of course, one of them doesn't. And I know that trying to stop a nuclear missile crisis is kind of a huge wild leap up for the Mafia series.
You're damn right.
But to be fair, there's two people that are going to be involved in it and being able to stop it. These guys are very well qualified for it. So at least it checks out, and it's not something that just doesn't make any goddamn sense to the story whatsoever with these characters. Get my hair off my neck. It is hot. I'm dying. So that DLC gets a little out there, but you get more backstory, you get more kind of character development ish, and you get to see, you get more Donovan. You get more Donovan. Not bad. The Faster Baby one is fun because you know what? I think here it is. The best part of this game that makes up for the repetitiveness and satiates the open world is the driving. Now, people say, I've heard a couple people say that it is not needed. I think that the driving around was a completely unnecessary add-on, but fuck you, okay? These cars are phenomenal. They feel the perfect kind of like arcadeness to where they are slippy and also heavy. Like, it is so good. It is hot. The way that these cars feel phenomenal. And then, of course, on top of that, you're cruising around listening to what I believe in my wholeheartedly heart, the best goddamn radio that's ever been in a video game ever. It's good. It's grand. It's the best. Oh, this radio is so good. It plays so many bangers. It is amazing. These stations are really good. The fact that like there is a bunch of stuff that actually fills you in on what's going on in the world, that if you just like listen to some of the talking segments on the radio, you get some information that you'll know before a cutscene or something like that. It happened to me when I was listening to the radio about Sammy's wife's club that he named after her, and how it's like completely been run down, and now it's like basically just like a bad memory of what it used to be. And then you hear about how awful it is, and to go take it down. And she's like, I know what this place is. Haha, that's pretty cool. And so it's like, I love the radio. I think they did a really, really good job with it. And the cars are so good. I love these muscle cars and the way they tear down these streets. I think this is the perfect part of the open world. And honestly, yeah, I hate the bushes that are basically like hard as cement. But I still think that the car and the radio fully make up for any like criticisms that the people have of the open world. Makes it worth it 100%. And then we already talked about what makes the repetitiveness worth it.
Killing races.
Yeah, killing the races. Suckers. Mafia 3 isn't just a revenge story. It's a story of reclamation. And it is a tale that redefines, or it's a game that redefines what a Mafia tale can be. Not always about becoming a Don, but sometimes it's about breaking a system that breaks you. For all of its flaws and problems, it's this game that hits the hardest emotionally for me, and that I just absolutely love and have always thought back to and stayed with me for such a long time. I think this is the one that I truly just get the most. I love this one so much. This one is, it's straightforward, but it is so full of heart, honesty, and just honestly, it's really, the story is really, really well done. I get that it can be a simple story, but sometimes those are some of the best. And at the center of this, you have Lincoln Clay, a man forged in war, defined by loss, and driven by justice. And all around, he is just a raw badass, and his pain is so raw and real in this game that I was 100% immediately on board with all the shit he was about to do, through and through. And also, the different way that this game tells the story between you're playing through past events being not just narrated but documented, as John Donovan is on trial 2 years later, and then it's also being a part of a documentary that takes place in 2016 where the father is also recounting things that happened in New Bordeaux in that summer. And it's just like, oh, what a beautiful, like, little multi-layer fucking facet of way of to fucking tell the story. Oh, I know I just came in at the end with this one, but shut up, it's there. I love it. It's so good. But that is why I love Mafia 3. I think it is one of the best Mafia games I've ever played. Lincoln Clay is now, I think, my favorite Mafia character. Dude's a badass. I think he's so goddamn good. And honestly, I think that the new one has a big hill to climb to try to beat this one as my favorite. I think I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna have fun, but I don't think it's gonna stay with me anywhere near as long as Mafia 3 will stay in my heart. And you know what? It's time for me to maybe go revisit a little bit more of New Bordeaux. Bye everyone. Thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to come back to see what else we're working on. You clean up the place or something?